Hi Earth family, this is Rena Yassiri with InsideJobHealing.com. I am your empath and your local healer and health coach. So I'm just coming to you today for the energy update for June 22nd to June 28th. Where did June go? Very, very intense times indeed. So if you're wondering why I have this little glow, I'm on a detox and I invite you to join us. I feel so great, and honestly, I don't know why I'm not on my detox 24/7. So I have a great group of goddesses that I'm doing it with, and it's also open to our brothers as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna dive right in. So we just had this very, very intense eclipse, and I asked my cousin about it, and bless his heart, he's like, oh, I didn't feel anything. I was very energized. So for those of you that don't really feel the moon or the eclipses and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that your etheric body is not open yet, and that's totally fine. So I just wanted to talk about the intense energies. There was so many shifts and so many downloads, and so for those of you that did feel it, I hope that you had a lot of, space and silence and were able to slow down and rest. I slept a lot, and I spent a lot of time alone listening to what was arising in me. And I also, was very emotional because it was an eclipse in Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. It's very emotional. So I allowed the tears to come up, and I had some really profound past life memories come up that I cleared, because the higher and higher the frequency is becoming on Earth with this ascension process, as we continue to birth new Earth, what happens is the higher and higher the energy octave on the planet and in your body, it starts to bring up all these densities, these dense energies that were unconscious and subconscious that we were unwilling or were too painful to look at. And so for us, we have these teachers in our life, whether it's our partners or our family or whatever, and they bring up all these painful things. And, right now with Mars being in its home planet of Aries, it's a very combative time. There's a lot of conflict, that warrior energy. So you might notice that you're getting triggered by your family, your partner, things like that. This is a very delicate time right now because it's easy to just get angry and fly off the handle and blame them. And that's just a very natural human emotion, but you have to remember that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And so everything is happening for you, not to you, by you. So essentially you're co-creating this whole experience with your higher self, and everything's happening for your highest of good. And believe me, it doesn't feel like it a lot of the time, but it's 100% true. And then so I had a situation where my partner was doing something that was triggering me, and I was like so pissed off at him, right? But once I realized what the lesson was, and once I allowed it to come to the surface and allowed my tears to purify the situation and just realized that it was a wound and a trauma in me from my past life, and once I realized that he was just simply mirroring to me what was already in my field, it was like I couldn't blame him for pissing me off anymore. And actually I got into a state of gratitude where I was like, wow, I'm so grateful to you for being my teacher. And I really just let go of control for like 3 days, just kind of was just allowing myself to be emotional, allowing myself to clear, allowing myself to receive downloads, allowing myself to be in the silence, to be in the flow, and just really stepping back and slowing down and seeing what my guides had to share with me. So hopefully you had, a similar experience, and if you're still in turmoil, just allow it to whatever emotions, just give them space to arise and subside, and allow them to be seen and transmuted and alchemized into the light. And I hate to say this, but this was a total eclipse, a total solar eclipse. And so basically we're going to be affected by these energies for the next 6 months. So this isn't going anywhere. And especially with Mars being in its home planet of Aries, like I said, very combative action, very busy, very warrior-like energy. You're going to notice that your business is going to kind of pick up and things like that. You're going to notice that conflicts are going to be around. And usually Mars is in its home planet for a couple of months, but now it's in it for 6 months. So My suggestion is just to get used to this energy being around and just find ways to yield it, for the highest of good and for productive reasons. If you do get mad, hey, you're human. Just try to process it and not judge it, right? Because we like to judge. These emotions are good. These emotions are bad. There's no good and bad emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. And the reason we get sick is because we suppress them. And so that's my job as an energy healer, is to help balance the chakras and clear the energy field so that way we don't get sick. Because normally we hold on to so much stagnant energy, our body's not present, our body is stuck in the past, and we're repeating the patterns of the past. So if you want emotional freedom, hit me up, message me, DM me. I'd love to help you, especially with the Lifestyle Reset and Thrive course that we're doing right now. It couldn't have happened at a better time, honestly. I have been chugging green juice, and I really, really highly recommend it if you want to clear your field and become more alkaline, because disease cannot grow in an alkaline environment. And the American diet is very acidic with dairy and meat. So when you do these type of detoxes, and when you drink a lot of green juice, what happens is you're creating an alkaline environment in the body where disease cannot grow, which is amazing, and it also lowers inflammation. Okay, so if you're interested in finding out more, let me know. We've started the course, but it's evergreen, which means that the content is dripped, so you can do it at your own pace and join us every week for our, embodiment practice and our group gathering. And Q&A. So you are always welcome to join the course. So if you're interested in finding out more, this is the perfect time, because, my friends, another thing that's going on, I know some people are going to be like, stop, eclipse, Mars. My planet Mercury is in retrograde, my friends. And I didn't even realize, because there was so much going on. I was like, oh my God, like there's miscommunication happening, there's a lot of friction and things like that. And I was like, what is happening? And I realized that, Mercury became retrograde on June 18th. It slipped right under the wire. Venus, if you recall, was in retrograde in Mercury starting in May, right? And then so we dip into the love and beauty planet being retrograde from, mid-May on, and then you get into the shadow period of Mercury being in retrograde June 2nd, and now we're in full retrograde until July 12th. So not only did we have love and beauty be out of the picture for a while, the energies of that weren't as accessible to us, but then now we've had, like I said, we're going to have 6 eclipses this year instead of 3 or 4. And then coronavirus and all the protests and all the injustices and, and rightly so, the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement, because that's very important. LGBTQ rights being upheld. So there's just a lot of shakeups going on, and it's not over. This is definitely not over. It's just going to continue. And then so you have the love planet being out of, focus, and then you have the communication planet being retrograde. So your relationships, I don't know how they're doing. Let me know, hit me up. But it's been challenging. It's been challenging. So I was just reading about a country star couple that got married in October, just like I did, and unfortunately they're getting divorced. And I hate to say it, but I can totally see why, because there's just been so many intense cosmic energies that have been putting so much pressure on relationships, existing and new. So hopefully the health of your relationship is still intact. Hopefully that you're able to use proactive listening and come from a place of empathy and compassion for the other person, see their point of view, not come from a patriarchal place of right and wrong, but just holding space for both perspectives and just being able to speak your truth. And first acknowledging what's not working, and then, putting a plan to change it. Because if you tell people, all day long, you're not meeting my needs, I've talked about this before, the 6 human needs with Tony Robbins, and then they just go, and they don't change, that's manipulation. Because, if you're just going to continue to do things that hurt the other person, the relationship's not sustainable. So it's time to really look at the relationship patterns, because again, we're looking at the next 35 years here. We're going to really cement that by July, and by the end of this year, really things are drastically going to change. And for us to really leave those old, past patterns that really it kicked off in April of 2019. That Saturn Pluto conjunction that the astrologers are talking about, where it really dictates the next 35 years. It's very rare. So that really kicked off in April of 2019, and it really heightened in January 12th, 2020, I should say. So really, we've been working with those energies. A lot of them said, okay, by July, and that's because of all the eclipse season. So we have another eclipse in a couple weeks, but it's gonna be partial. So it's just really kind of pushed us into this like new paradigm, and we're gonna work things out by the end of the year. And 2021 is gonna be our year. I know we said 2020. All the spiritual peeps were like, 2020 is our year. Well. Wasn't on our vision board. And calamity and catastrophe and epidemics and uprisings. However, 2021 is going to be our year. So this is your opportunity to really play cleanup. And so, and it's, Mercury's in retrograde in Cancer, Cancer is the home and hearth. I'm Cancer rising, so in my 20s I was very Gemini-like, all over the place, the life of the party, traveling all over, just social butterfly, and now I'm very like, anybody that knows me, I'm like a super homebody. I have my practice out of my work-live space. I just love being at home because I'm a Cancer rising, and that's a very nurturing sign. It's the nurturing sign of the mother. So that is where the eclipse happened. That is where Mercury retrograde is happening, and also in the 6th house specifically. And the 6th house encompasses a lot of things, but mainly health and lifestyle and routine and organization, which are all things that we address in Lifestyle Reset and Thrive. And so I just instinctually wanted us to start in June, but knowing now cosmically we're completely supported. So if this is something you're thinking about, we have the first 2 weeks we do a detox, and then we do a house detox, which is really great because when you cleanse the internal, you want to cleanse the external as well, and so many more other things. So if you're looking for a serious game changer, definitely hit me up. This program is my life's work, and it's what can I say? This shit works. I mean, it really, really does. And like I said, I've only been on the detox 5 days now, and I feel fantastic. I've already dropped some weight. I feel lighter energetically and physically, because when you do these detoxes and you do some of the protocols and body embodiment practices that I do, you not only lose physical weight, you lose energetic weight as well, which is so important, okay? And our program really celebrates and honors everybody at any size. So it's not about losing weight. It's really about a system to help you with transformation and help you live your best life. So anyway, hit me up. So yeah, so I feel like, that's what's been going on astrologically. It's a lot. So if you need some help in the, in the health department, the home department, there's help here. And I really feel that people are starting to really open up to the fact that alternative medicine, alternative ways. I met a gal who was suffering from, unfortunately, some autoimmune disorders and things like that. And a lot of people are just going from doctor to doctor, and they're not finding solutions. So that's my specialty in health coaching, is the microbiome and, leaky gut, and ensuring that your microbiome is situated, and that your gut is sealed, and that you're able to have the energy and not have brain fog and not feel lethargic, and just not feel, have acne or have all these problems that are related, and all the autoimmunes really are related to the gut, which is the second brain, which houses over 70% of our immunity. So seriously, this is some big stuff. And for me, I've had my hero's journey where I was sick for over 10 years with chronic illnesses, and nobody could help me. They just kept throwing antidepressants at me, and telling me it was all in my head. And so I was able to really cure myself from, all sorts of things like arthritis and, dysbiosis and PPMS and estrogen dominance and chronic fatigue and all that. So seriously, if you're looking for a real solution that works, I am the real deal. So anyway, so that's what's going on in the cosmos. Energetically, like I said, there's just a lot of energy of anger, a lot of combative energy, a lot of still feeling like we're not treated fairly. That's still continuing. And just still fear of the unknown. We still don't know where we're going. So it's time to be courageous and put one foot in front of the other, my friends. You are not alone. I love you. Rena with InsideJobHealing.com.